welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yes, here in the Crystarium, where last time we heard about, Minfilia, and we're back at the, we had to go back to the storyteller to learn more about Minfilia and what's going on with or them, or whatever. Whatever you think Mo's going to tell you about Minfilia, it won't be what you're expecting, just trust me. It seems an age since we bade Minfilia farewell. Yes, if you're after books pertaining to the Warrior of Darkness, I'm afraid most are out on loan at present. They're experiencing quite a surge in popularity. Oh, you wish to learn about the Oracle of Light? Then it would be my pleasure to assist. After I've finished off some few outstanding tasks, that is, while I attend to them, perhaps you could fetch me a book? The Illustrated Tale of the Oracle of Light, it's called. Though it's intended for younger readers, it provides an excellent summary of the subject matter, and the artwork is quite lovely besides. I would not hesitate to recommend it to anyone with an interest in learning about Minfilia. But you must see for yourself, the book should be located on the level below. Should I say, for while there is a place for everything here, not everything is always in its place, despite my best efforts. In short, if a book is not where it should be, it will almost certainly be somewhere it shouldn't. So, good luck. Yeah, if it isn't where it should be, it will be somewhere where it shouldn't be, huh? The book does not appear to be here. No luck. Not here. Is there a step ladder you can borrow? You might need more than a step ladder for this, Just as your eyes begin to blur, they finally come to rest on a copy of the Illustrated Tale of the Oracle of Light. That's the book, is it? I don't know, I found it. Have you found the book? Intended for younger readers, this tome featuring winsome illustrations tells the beloved tale of the Oracle of Light. Yes, this is the one. I hope it wasn't too difficult to track down. I'm happy to say I finished all my pressing tasks. If you want to call your friends over, we can begin learning at once. Without further ado then. It began 100 years ago, when a flood of light threatened to swallow Northrend. Just as all seemed lost, a savior appeared, who halted the all-consuming radiance. A maiden with hair of spun gold and eyes of clearest sapphire. Naught was known about her save that her name was Minfilia, and for delivering the realm she came to be revered as the Oracle of Light. After stopping the flood, The mysterious maiden vanished without a trace. But 15 years later, her name would unexpectedly reappear in the annals of history. When Sin Eaters laid ruin to the kingdom of Verbert, a young girl was discovered who was immune to the creature's blighted touch. One with hair spun of gold and eyes of clearest sapphire. She was hailed as the Oracle Reborn and came to likewise be called Minfilia. Enlisting in the Eulmore army, this Minfilia fought and vanquished countless Sin Eaters. Alas, like so many other soldiers, she eventually met her end in battle. Yet with her dying breath, she whispered unto her grieving comrades, "Minfilia will return." And true to her words, some years later another young girl was discovered who possessed the self-same eyes, the self-same hair, and those self-same powers. She too took the name Minfilia. She too fought Sin Eaters as a soldier of Eulmore, and she too fell in battle. Many more were to follow in her footsteps, and so the cycle continues to this day. And that concludes the tale. By their valor and sacrifice, these women have saved Northwood on numerous occasions. And were it not for them, we might never have learned of the Light Wardens and their nature. They sound like formidable warriors. Some perhaps, the truth is rather less simple. Though the Oracle is reborn with certain common traits, she does not inherit the memories or knowledge of her previous incarnations. All of the Minfilias thus far were discovered as ordinary girls, unversed in the ways of war, and ignorant of the power they harbored. While some embraced their fate and devoted themselves to training, others did not. But all were made to face the Sin Eaters, and all died to keep our hopes alive. What can you tell us of a current Minfilia? She was found by the Eulmore army some 10 years ago and taken into their care. Or rather, their custody. She was a prisoner in all but name, for by that time under Lord Warfrey's rule, Eulmore had already abandoned resistance in favor of decadence. Minfilia was an uncomfortable reminder of a war they no longer wished to fight, a potential threat to the peace, and so they kept her under lock and key. For a long while we heard nothing more of her. We couldn't even be certain she was alive, save that it was in the Eulmoreans' best interests for her to remain under their control. But then, 3 years ago, a gallant soul stole into the city and rescued her from their clutches, just like a hero from the tales. Indeed. Well, I believe we now have a good grasp on Minfilia's tale. Thank you for your time, Morin. Might I trouble you for a word, Serenia, outside? As you will have already surmised, the gallant soul who rescued Minfilia was none other than our own dear Thancred. They have since been wandering the land together, never remaining in one place for long, which is why we have not yet had a chance to meet them. We know that Minfilia journeyed here as Heidel's emissary to hold the Flood of Light. It could only be her that the people have first witnessed 100 years ago. The original Oracle of Light. But while there's plainly some connection between the woman we knew and her namesakes, the fact that these girls do not share her memories must surely mean they are not the same person. Thancred has to understand that. I have no doubt that he understands. The question is how he feels. Regardless, the Thancred we know would not forsake his charge. If she's been captured, we may be certain he will not stand idly by. Where we go again, talking in your roundabout way. If you think we should rescue Minfilia, just spit it out. It just so happens I agree with you. It's quite clear that this Minfilia possesses Heidelind's blessing. And it wouldn't hurt to have a second such individual on our side, right, Serenia? Quite. I see you made up your minds. Exarch, what brings you here? A report and a proposal. First report. Our scouts have confirmed that the Eulmore forces at Luxenloft do indeed have Minfilia in their custody. For the present they are holding her there, but we can be certain they will move her to Eulmore ere long. Should that happen, we may be forced to give her up as lost. So if we mean to act, we should do so quickly. Which brings me to my proposal. I ask that you entrust this undertaking to us, the people of a Crystarium. Interesting. Entrust Minfilia's rescue to the people of a Crystarium? Alright then.
You are doubtless eager to attempt Minfilia's rescue, and with your combined strength you may well succeed. But as I said earlier, I do not wish to show our hand unless absolutely necessary. "'Twas not merely the night sky that you restored to us, but hope. Hope for the future of Norvrand. Unlike you, we cannot contend with the Light Wardens, but so long as hope burns in our hearts, we will fight on regardless. This I will prove to you." My friends, I thank you for gathering at such short notice. There is something I would ask you all. As many of you are aware, I received an emissary from Eulmore a short while ago in the form of General Ranjit. To my dismay, the General condemned the slaying of the Light Warden, and warned me in no uncertain terms that, should the Crystarium cast its lot with the Warrior of Darkness, there would be war. Let none be mistaken. We would be hard-pressed indeed to resist the might of Eulmore. Some would even call it suicide. And yet my heart cries out to fight. Better that than relinquish the hope that swelled in my breast when I beheld the night sky for the first time in 100 years. Or so says my heart. My mind, meanwhile, reminds me that to follow my heart would be to risk everything we have accomplished thus far. Clearly, this is not a decision to be made lightly, nor less alone. And so I put the question to you all. What should we do?
My lord, you already know our minds. It brought tears to our eyes to witness the knight's return. The whole of Norvrand deserves the same, and not just because some children's story tells us so.
Eulmore's influence is far-reaching. Should war break out, trade would be subject to restrictions. The flow of goods will dry up, and we will struggle to make do with what little trickles through. But make do we will.
Aye, we can weather such hardships. Is that not the very thing the Crystarium was built for? We have always taken pride in our ability to sustain ourselves. Not just to endure, but to thrive.
When all falls down around you, rise up. Those were your words. There may come a day when all hope seems lost, but even should the rest of the world give in to despair, we shall not. We shall fight on, that our children and our children's children might know a better tomorrow.
Rousing words apart, I never much cared for those Eulmore bastards anyway. No better than common swindlers, most of them. Wouldn't know a fair deal if it came up and kissed them on the arse.
Trust you to spoil the moment.
It appears we have a consensus. Let it be known that the Eulmoran host at Laxon Loft has taken the Oracle of Light captive. They fear the power she holds over the Sin Eaters, and doubtless intend to imprison her once more. So, I move that we rescue the Oracle, grant her a place among us, and let that be our answer to Eulmore's ultimatum.
Hear, hear!
Hear, hear!
In planning a strategy for the rescue, I open the floor to you all.
And there you have it. If Eulmore wishes to denounce us as villains, then we shall embrace our villainy. Will you do so as well?
We will not be outdone. Consider us your partners in crime.
We're most definitely in.
My lord, our proposal is as follows. We begin by deploying Amaro to occupy the skies over Lakeland. They should serve to delay the airship's departure. At the same time, we scatter dream powder from the air. Not all will succumb to its effects, but it should thin the enemy's numbers, affording us an opening to swoop in and liberate the Oracle.
Very good. See to your preparations.
And what exciting crimes would you have us commit? Speaking for my fellow villains, I'd say we're capable of most things, though we draw the line at indolence.
If excitement is your desire, then I bid you join the guard. Captain Lena will give you your orders.
But our hosts have offered to take the lead, we still have a part to play. Let's see that we play it well. The people of the Crystarium have initiative, I would expect that. Many here have place in the heart for Minfilia. We must ensure this mission succeeds, for all their sakes. So, you will be joining the guard, but however highly the Exarch thinks of you, you will receive no special treatment from me, is that clear? With a salute, soldier. Better. More spirited than the Exarch's feeble attempts, certainly. He's so, Now, first things first. You will need uniforms. Go to the the lean mean and report to Catalyst. She will see you measured and fitted. Ah, there's the last of them. Your friends are being measured as we speak. Right this way. We'll see to it you look your dashing best with your first outing. Done, are you? Let's have a look at those numbers. Let's see. How does it go? So, Captain, I'm afraid we don't have anything on hand that's already fit. But we do have a few that are fairly close. We should be able to make them work with some minor adjustment. Very well then. See to it and have the uniforms delivered directly to the field. I should take this opportunity to brief you on the mission. As mentioned earlier, we will deploy a Marrow to scatter dream powder from the air. Once the powder takes effect, an elite unit will storm the fortress to rescue the Oracle. Her safe liberation is our sole objective. Engagement is to be avoided wherever possible. I assume we are to be part of that said unit? Correct. The unit will be divided into two contingents, one deploying from Fort Job, the other from the Austral Imperative. You and Alphinaud will join the former. Serenity will join the latter with me. Before you proceed to your positions, you're to report to Chess Samil at Spagirix? She will issue you with a serum to ward off the effects of a dream powder. We shall be on our way then. Take care, my friend, and we see you on the field. It's quite far from the Imperative, so you may use... So you may make use of an Amaro from a rookery. After you've collected the serum, of course. And where is that? It's down below. Can I jump? Yes, sweetie? Is there something you need? Oh, one of the guards come for your drum, are you? Here you go, a dose of this will keep you firmly in the waking world while your enemies are off in Dreamland. Now, if it's your first time, I should warn you, it's bitter as sin. Princess Kiss, they call it, but if you ask me, it should be Crone's Kiss. Just aside, the stuff really is foul. Most people gag like there's no tomorrow, but if you don't drain every last drop, you're liable to end up taking a trip to Dreamland yourself. So I must ask you to drink it here now while I watch. Come on, give your old crone a kiss. Ooh. Well done, sweetie. I'm proud of you. Why, if I didn't know any better, I'd even say you enjoyed it. And now you needn't fear falling asleep on the battlefield. Just have care you don't lose any limbs out there, alright? They don't tend to grow back. Yes, what do you require of me? An Amaro to take you to the Imperative, huh? As much as I would like to oblige, all our mounts are reserved for the coming operation. I fear we'll have to go by foot. But wait, there might be another way. Assuming you're willing to lend a hand. I was about to deliver an Amaro to Wadiska's round, one of the locations where the beasts will fly for the operation. The tower lies along the route to the Imperative. If near enough is good enough for you, you may make the delivery in my stead. Very good, I shall ready the Amaro for departure at once. Wadiska's round is to the north and west. You can take the road or you can fly, it's up to you. Upon arriving, make yourself known to the sentry and she will give you further instructions. If you should become separated from the Amaro Roinot, the beasts are trained to return to the rookery. That's all. Go well. Oh, you're delivering with Amaro to us? I'm afraid there's been a change of plans. We already have all the beasts we require here. Instead, this one is to go to the Imperative to rest. Please see it to the handler on duty, Sally Vanto. If you encounter trouble along the path, return here and I'll set you a right dress. Hey. I go all the way anyway. Isn't that nice? Ah, the last Amaro. My thanks, friend. You may leave a beast with me. Say, I don't believe I know you. Did you join the guard recently? So that's the way of it. Well, you managed to arrive, and that's all that matters in the end. I bid you welcome to the Ostal Imperative, one of our key strongholds in Lakeland. The first thing you want to do is report to the captain. You'll find her at the lookout across the way. I saw a current somewhere here. So it seems that rather than the Amaro delivering you, you delivered the Amaro. I'll not thank you. I expect all my soldiers to make themselves useful. Speaking of which, I have a task for you. Alright, but not this episode. because I end this here. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Mace, and don't get lost.